Fascinating to look at the two bookends of our downtown area. The Seed Bank building, highly prominent building. And then right behind me in the same corner, Old Shanghai. All vacant. Fascinating. Ancient clock repair building. I've never been in there. I wonder if that's ever open. I don't think so. And then all the way down to Petaluma Boulevard and C Street. That far end also has some vacancies and some empty lots going on. So it's a fascinating study of our town. I love studying our old town and other old towns, many old towns around the country and around the world, looking at the patterns of growth, decay, and growth. Fun to watch, study, and learn. Then here at the southern end of the historic district, we've got that empty lot to the far right, and then kitty corner is 7-Eleven. 7-Eleven's not really a prominent marker or not a landmark that says, hey, you've arrived in Petaluma and welcome to the southern end of our town. But I would say it is true that it probably does quite a bit of business. Looks like a lot of people are coming and going. So it is a high traffic area and obviously serves a need, but it doesn't really give you that grand entryway to say welcome to Petaluma. And then next door is this vacant burger shack, chain link fence. Here's our iconic post office directly across the street, 4th Street, and here's the back end of that burger shack and the chain link fence. As you head north, head into the downtown area, historic downtown area, you do pass by Compass Realty, and that's a nice building, well maintained. Then they've got this parking lot, which visually doesn't do that much for you, but there it is. But then the very next thing you see is the chain link fence of another commercial property. This is a fish and chips establishment that was doing really well. The pandemic came and wiped it out, and it's just been falling apart ever since. And as you go back to Petaluma Boulevard and C Street, here's an old bank building, Bank of the West. It's vacant. Nobody's there. It's just this empty building. I guess a homeless guy's kind of hanging out there. I think this homeless guy actually helps clean the streets, so that's cool. But this property is completely unused. You can walk up to it and see a sign of where they've moved to. And so this is just part of this two full blocks between Petaluma Boulevard and 4th Street, and bordered between B, C, and D Street. 2 full blocks. Some of the commercial establishments are doing well still. However, there's a number of existing buildings that are closed down with chain link fences, and there's a number of vacant, empty lots with chain link fences as well. Pete's Coffee across the street doing great. A lot of little restaurants over there across the street. But here in the block in question, now we're coming up to the corner of B Street and Petaluma Boulevard. Currently, a developer's attempting to place a 6-story hotel. Some people hate the idea of a hotel 6 stories, 5 stories, 4 stories. Some people love the idea even at 6 stories. However, the zoning does not allow for a 6-story building here. The zoning says 45 feet, even though the developer proposes this huge 6-story building, which is much higher than what the zoning allows. To give you an example, here in the East Bay is what a 6-story building looks like adjacent to other 1 stories, 1.5-story buildings, just to give you an idea of the scale of what the developer proposes for that hotel. In the meantime, I don't know that the developer is ever going to get this approved. Maybe at 4 stories, certainly not at 6 stories. But in the meantime, this lot will still be a chain link fence, unused lot. Across the street, we've got little shops. This shop here at 4th and B does really well. There's the museum, public library. The shop's changing hands and becoming a used record shop. I hope that does well. It's done well as clothing shops in the past. And then across the street is Rex Hardware, which is just to the right of that vacant empty lot where they wanted to build, or would like to build, the hotel. Vacant and vacant. Lemongrass Thai noodle is still up and running. But the rest of this block heading north for lease. Something's going on here still with the hippie, thrifty hippie. That's happening. But a lot of vacancy here as well. These older retail spaces. Going all the way over to for lease Brewster's, which as a business and as a draw for public activities, just cranking it. Brewster's is booming as far as I can tell. I like to shoot pool every once in a while, so the pool hall is fun for me. Billiards, Buffalo Billiards. Another significant vacancy at Prospect Street and Petaluma Boulevard North. Worth noting, I'm coming all the way up here. I'm going to walk all the way up to the North River Apartments on Oak Street. There's a little case study which we should take a quick look at. The North River Apartments are completed now. I'm hoping these storefront, office front offices, I think there's 3 here, I hope they get filled up and there's some activity. 180 residential units here. Behind me under construction is affordable housing. Obviously we need all of this housing and more. I think the look of the North River Apartments here turned out better than I expected, at least. It's I think it blends in well with the area. However, there's one key component to this that's going to determine, in my mind, whether this project's really a success for the town or not. My wife and I live 3 blocks from here, so it's no overstatement to say this is a major amenity for us, having the new extension of Oak Street and then Water Street on down to Brewster's. Already we cut through here to get to Lynch Creek Trail from our house coming down Oak Street. So this is major for us. The linchpin to whether this North River Apartments becomes truly a public success or not, in my mind, is right here on the corner, the very corner of Water Street and Oak Street. Can't see it in there, but there's a large restaurant, cafe, space in here. It's still vacant. It's still early. They just finished construction, but it's still vacant, waiting for a tenant to come in and do the improvements. And why I believe this is the linchpin for this whole project is this is the one opportunity for me and you and the general public to come and interact with this building. And when I look around town and look at projects coming up and coming, being built, being completed, that's always the number one question I have on my mind is, well, how much is the public going to be able to interact with this building? How much can the public interact with this space? And do I get to participate, or is this just one more closed gate kind of castle, like a gated community, except it's a gated castle? I've actually been able to walk in here and look at a couple of the units for rent and what they have for the common community space for the tenants. It's pretty cool. I really like it. I like this, love this location. I mean, if I was looking for an expensive apartment to rent, I'd be looking right here, but fortunately I'm not. But can I participate with this building? Yeah, it's great. I can come down the street and hook up with Lynch Creek Trail. Can almost hook up to the Smart Trail heading north from here. I hope they open this up as a cafe and a thriving restaurant so I can come and enjoy this building along with the tenants.